What's up, everybody? It's the Palm Harbor Dad. Today I'm here in Dunedin at Soggy Bottom Brewery with owner Luke. He was gracious enough to invite me in. He's going to share some beers with me here in the Flight with Founders, one of my newer series. Lucas, we appreciate you letting us in today and sharing some suds with us, so thank you for that. I've got a few questions I just want to ask. I just want you to kind of take me back to the beginning, kind of your origin story, if you would. What made you want to start brewing and open the brewery?
I've been home brewing, honestly, since probably high school, even a little bit before with my dad. So brewing beer has always been kind of like a thing that I knew how to do. And then when I went to college, and it was like, all right, I can buy everything to make beer, just can't buy beer. So then I started doing it on my own. And then I moved down here from Michigan about 17 years ago. And that's where I met the two fellas that I opened up this place with, nice. Soggy Bottom with. And then I got them into craft beer and brewing, and we were just like, you know what, let's try our own thing here and let's open up a brewery. So that's what we did.
I love that. So you found a workaround around the legal age for drinking.
Yeah.
I love the creativeness there. So with that said, why don't we start with one of the beers? Tell me, which one are we going to start with, and tell me a little bit about it.
All right, let's probably start off with the lightest one. That's our Suds Light. It's an American Pilsner.
Okay, Suds Light American Pilsner.
Yep, it's made with all Pilsner malt, and then it's made with a little bit of flaked corn and flaked rice to keep it nice and light. It's 4.2%. It's about 95 calories, so it's definitely one of those, like, you know, in the realm of Mick Ultra, just our craft version of it.
Okay, well, let's cheers and have a drink.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, Luke. I like it a lot. I think light beers have a time and a place.
Yeah.
And at a brewery like this, I probably wouldn't go this direction.
Yeah.
But I can understand someone that's not really into craft beers, and you give them this, and they'd be totally satisfied.
Yeah, this is totally turned into my at the grill beer. You know, I have a 4-pack always at home.
Yeah.
You know, pull out the grill. That's what I'm drinking.
Yep.
You know, it's a great light crushable beer.
This is the hot weather beer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
nice.
For sure.
What was the beer that got you into craft beer, and what are you reaching for now? Has your taste evolved?
Well, the beer that kind of started this place was known as our TCP, or Toasted Coconut Porter. Basically, Andrew, who's my partner, his wife was like, oh, I want you to make a coconut beer. And so we made that beer, and it was like, oh, this is delicious. We brought it to a couple homebrew competitions and got really good feedback on it. So we were like, hey, maybe this is kind of what we can do. Honestly, my taste buds, they change yearly, seasonally. Like, I used to be just all malty beers. So your darker beers, or your ambers, your browns. Then I got really big into IPAs. And then now I'm like, I really am enjoying German lagers and pilsners, Czech pilsners. So it's kind of just, I've been up and down, but I love them all. I can drink anything, so.
So I think it's a good segue that we probably try the Toasted Coconut Porter now.
Next,
right?
Yep.
All right, well, let's cheers on this one.
Cheers.
Let's see the origin story. Oh, this one's really smooth. Well, I can see.
It's not overly heavy. It's definitely a beer that's made for Florida in mind.
Yeah, which is, you see a dark flavor a lot of times, it's deceiving. People automatically think it's a heavy beer.
Yeah.
But this is not at all. It's really crisp. It's really smooth. And it's not, you're right, it's not overwhelmingly sweet. Mm-hmm. And you can still taste the coconut in there.
Yeah. Yep. And
all right. What was the hardest part of getting this place off the ground?
Oh, honestly, the build out was terrible. You know, we did it with like little money as possible. You know, we were 3 young kids at the time. You know, we were 27. You know, we didn't really have anything to our name. So the amount of money we had to stretch a long way. And just the government, like you couldn't apply for a license till you had an address. But once you had an address, you're starting to pay rent. And we wasted $45,000 in rent before we even, you know, could open.
Yeah, so have beer first.
Okay.
All right, so what do we got?
Yeah, let's go with our newer offering. We've only been doing it for about a year now. I think we've only done 3 batches. It's our peanut butter and jelly blonde.
Peanut butter and jelly blonde.
Yep. Right. The jelly in it is raspberry puree, okay. And then there's a touch of peanut butter extract. It's more jelly than peanut butter, but you definitely get the peanut butter there.
All right, cheers, my man.
Yep.
Oh, this is delicious. And you totally get that peanut butter and jelly, but it's not too sweet.
No.
Because I'm not a huge fan of like sweet beers.
Yeah.
I just feel like beer shouldn't be sweet. I guess there's a time and a place, but this is really good. And I'm a sucker for like peanut butter and jellies. Like, in general, you know.
Yeah. It brings back good childhood memories.
Oh yeah, that's excellent. What makes your brewery different from others?
Honestly, I think it's our willingness to kind of experiment. You know, we do have a 7-barrel system, but we do a lot of half batches that are just like, hey, I want to try this. I think a lot of breweries get caught up just like constantly cycling their flagships, which I get. They're the ones that sell, but you'll never find that new one that sells if you're not going to try something new, right? Yeah. And it keeps people excited. Like, what new do they have this time? So,
all right, well, let's move on to beer number 4.
All right, this is our Two-Face IPA. People ask kind of like what kind of IPA it is. The best I can come up with is like an American IPA. It's a kind of a mix between two styles. It uses New England style hops, so you're going to get a lot of tropical fruit, little citrus, some stone fruit, stuff like that. But it has the bitterness of what you might get from like a West Coast IPA.
Got it. So full disclosure, I'm not a huge IPA guy, but obviously I want to try it because I want to try everything you have to offer. So cheers. Luke. That's so much more mild than like a regular IPA. Because the bitterness and like the hoppiness of a regular IPA is usually kind of what turns me off. This does have a bit of bitterness, but it's nowhere near like...
Yeah, it definitely doesn't kick you in the tongue like a lot of IPAs
it's
do.
It's in the back, for sure. It's if I was going to order an IPA, I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I like the other ones. I'm not an IPA guy, but hey, if someone forced me to drink an IPA, I'm asking for this. All right, so if someone's going to come to Soggy Bottom for the first time, they're going to ask you for a beer. What's your go-to recommendation for someone that just walks in off the street?
Obviously, our bartenders go into a little bit more depth, like what do you usually like.
Yep.
But if I was to say a beer that we have on a lot and that I'm very proud of, it's our Czech Pilsner. It's called Check Your Bottom Pils. We don't have it on right now. It's in the fermenter.
All right.
But it's one of the beers that I've been most pleased with. It's to me, it's perfection.
The good thing is I'm going to be back here, so I'm going to have to try that because I do love Pilsners and I love the Czech beers like that. So, all right, that's awesome. Luke, cheers. This has been another episode of Flights with Founders with the Palm Harbor Dad. Thanks,
Cheers.
Luke. Cheers. All right. It's a wrap.
Yeah, thank you, man.